music2020.org are fans of music and musicians ourselves. And we want to work with you to help launch a new and healthy music industry. For artists to truly succeed, they must, of course, have great music. But having great music isn't enough. You must also be able to put your music in front of people who care. And in order to make music more than a hobby, you must be able to make money from it. And you must be able to allow the loyal fans who want to support you to do so in a way that is legal and feels fair to both sides of the ledger. For the last 100 years or so, musicians have had to rely on labels, distributors, promoters, and a host of others to, in theory, assist or facilitate them in the recording, distribution, and promotion of their music. Groups could sign with a major label such as Sony, Universal, and Warner Music Group, but in the vast majority of cases, they paid a severe price for doing so. As Washington, D.C.-based Future of Music Coalition observed, artists had two choices. 1. Align themselves with major labels and agree to oftentimes unfair compensation in the hopes of one day reaching a national audience, or 2. Resign themselves to working with indies and a life in the shadows. Obviously, neither of these options is a good one for the artist. While technology advances have enabled musicians to do many of these things without a label, for instance, an artist can now distribute their music via services like TuneCore and iTunes without a label. There are still a vast number of problems that are keeping the music industry from having more winners than losers. In this video, I'm going to describe a new technology called blockchain and detail the 3 most important elements of this technology for both people who make music and the fans that want to support them. At this point, you've likely heard of Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency that allows for people to buy and sell things without using government-issued currency, and to do so in a very efficient manner. In order to ensure that Bitcoin transactions were valid, secure, and that no single individual, company, or government controlled them, a new kind of record-keeping database was created. This database is decentralized, that is, not owned, controlled by any one entity. By distributing the data and the database itself across a vast number of servers and computers, in the same manner that the internet is distributed. This is why this database is referred to as a distributed ledger, and this distributed ledger is known as the Bitcoin blockchain. A blockchain is a special kind of database that, as we will see, unlike a normal database, has a set of dynamic functions that make it very important for musicians. Additionally, blockchains, as their name implies, keep an ongoing record of any change or transaction related in a set or chain of blocks. So if someone buys or transfers the rights to something, a song for example, a new block that shows the transaction is recorded on the blockchain. This will help musicians get more clarity and transparency, and a more accurate barometer reflecting the public's reaction to their music, something artists have been demanding for years. When you combine these elements, you have the potential for a powerful new solution for a global music industry that is utilitarian in nature. Vastly more winners than losers begins to take shape. Again, the key issues are that artists will be able to have a clearer vision or transparency over how their music is being used, sold, and distributed. And fans will be able to get more of their money directly to the artist. It's a win-win for artists, songwriters, producers, the creative element, and the fans that want to support them and drive up their visibility. There are 3 main elements of the blockchain that are directly related to musicians. 1. It is distributed or decentralized. 2. Smart contracts. And 3. Providing incentives to fans who promote. What do we mean by the blockchain being distributed or decentralized? Well, the music industry is full of databases. Record labels, publishers, performance rights organizations, the United States Copyright Office. All of them own or control their own databases. For decades, these institutions have derived value out of the proprietary nature of these databases. But in so doing, they've created a terrible mess with respect to artists being accurately compensated for the usage of their music in a timely way. In addition, because these databases are proprietary, they don't talk to each other. In other words, when Spotify streams their vast amount of music every day, they don't automatically notify the various right holders, labels, publishers, artists of this action, because the databases don't talk to each other. So the blockchain will set a kind of universal language that will allow these components to interact seamlessly. In fact, many of these streaming services state that they cannot pay artists for the music they use because they can't figure out who owns the songs that they're streaming or who to pay. Whether it's actually true that they can't find these rights holders or find it more profitable not to find them, the fact remains that these proprietary databases are leaving musicians out of the equation with respect to control and compensation related to their rights. The Bitcoin blockchain, as a distributed ledger that is not owned by any one individual, and that by its very nature is unchangeable once a record is created, allows for a database to be created that can be accessed by any party without having to go through countless middlemen. Middlemen that might have been necessary to a degree in a pre-IT world, but the internet's power and scope now makes a lot of these middlemen largely superfluous. Point 2. Smart contracts. Of course, a decentralized or distributed database that is static in nature only addresses one of the problems, ownership. However, the Bitcoin blockchain and blockchains generally are not static in nature. One of their key components is the ability for an action to automatically trigger another action based upon a set of rules or circumstances. Imagine then how a smart contract might help musicians. Here's an example. Today, if you decide to open a taco shop and you want to play your collection of Texas Tornado CDs or downloads in your taco shop to set the mood, there are hoops you must jump through and costs related to securing the necessary licenses. The taco shop owner may only want to play the music of the Texas Tornadoes or other music that fits the mood of his shop, but he is required to buy a blanket license that gives him the right to play anything in the pro's catalog. He is essentially paying for music he doesn't want, will likely never play. Similarly, the Texas Tornadoes might love to have their music played not just in this taco shop, but in any number of other places that would benefit from playing their music. They might even be willing to set a price that would encourage people to utilize their music. But they don't get to set the price. ASCAP, BMI, and other agencies do. An alternative method that utilizes the blockchain technology of smart contracts would be: 1. The Texas Tornadoes create a set of rules with respect to how their song and recording could be used and at what price. 2. They ascribe these rules in a smart contract on the blockchain in a manner that can be read by machines. 3. The taco shop owner determines that he wants music that fits the mood of his taco shop and delineates a set of categories and descriptions. Additionally, the taco shop owner determines what amount he is willing to spend each year on this music. 4. The taco shop owner, using an interface, does a search for works that match these criteria. 5. When a match is found, the smart contract executes, the song is playable, and the rights holders are paid based on usage. In this approach, there is no need for a performance rights organization, such as ASCAP or BMI. The content creator sets a price and set of usage related to his work. The content user either accepts and pays these prices and is able to use the work or does not. No band or other entity truly succeeds, unless and until they shift the burden of promotion from themselves to their fans. At the end of the day, it's an artist's songs, labor, and cult of personality that create an audience of proactive, enthusiastic fans, and not hype. What if fans could start their own streaming services? What if these fans could actually make money, turning a fan base of, say, 1,000 fans into 100,000 fans, and then 1,000,000 fans? Wouldn't that fan be providing a valuable service to not only artists, but other fans as well? Shouldn't that fan be compensated, either by monetary measures or key recognition by the band and some other sort of reward, such as more music, access to unique, exclusive material, and even public and music industry recognition. Some of these streaming services might get rich. Most might make a little more than pocket change. But a lot of fans will engage in this activity for the social network aspects. And because, let's face it, it could be a lot of fun on a number of different levels for people who love music. So, if proactive fans are reaching out to other excited proactive fans, you can see how a snowball effect could occur to help establish and popularize new and upcoming groups. The blockchain, due to both its distributed nature and smart contracts, allows for and facilitates this type of dynamic to occur. For instance, via the utilization of the blockchain, an artist could see which of their fans is actually sharing and promoting their work, and provide these super fans with something that they truly value as a reward or incentive to keep them sharing. This could be in the form of more music, access to unique exclusive material, etc., and would occur via smart contracts automatically. For example, an artist could stipulate that the first 500 people to tweet out a link to one of their songs and utilize a specific URL that could track the process, could enable a smart contract that would then automatically reward the person who sent the tweet with a link to a live recording. In summary, the Bitcoin blockchain truly does have the ability to wrest power and control from the institutions who have for too long controlled the destiny of artists due to their proprietary databases and reluctantness to create systems that benefit more people than they exploit. By a combination of a decentralized ledger, smart contracts, and incentives for superfans, blockchain technology opens up the possibility of a robust and healthy music ecosystem. In 1933, Albert Einstein said, "The significant problems we face cannot be solved by the same level of thinking that created them." The problem with the music industry circa 2016 is the same old methods from the last half century are still being employed. The major labels in particular are a fractional group who are terrified of the change the internet presents, because they know it will transfer control from them to the artists and the fans that want to support them. This transformation must occur if the music industry is ever to rebound. The blockchain could help make this evolution a reality.